Are you thinking about building a new gaming PC this year? How about upgrading your old PC with a shiny new graphics card, since now you can actually buy them? If you fit either of those two descriptions, then listen up, because I'm about to give you a complete list of the best GPUs of 2023, and I'll even tell you where to shop. Hello and welcome to Danny's Tech Channel. I'm Danny and today's video is only about new GPUs. This is for those of you that won't consider used for your build, and that's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you're willing to throw a used card into your PC, there's some great deals to be found, and I'm working on a follow-up video to this one, so make sure you subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll know when that video goes live. Last year around this time, I made an easy to understand GPU comparison chart which viewers seem to enjoy. So I figured I'd revamp it with all the new GPUs and revisit this topic. There's a lot that's changed. Please don't be too particular with my chart design skills. I've placed the cards into their relative performance categories, but it's getting a little crowded. Anyways, you'll get the idea. Also, feel free to pause the video at any time to take a closer look at the chart because it's got a lot of information. I've listed all the current GPUs offered for both NVIDIA and AMD, as well as their MSRP at the time of launch. The price you see in parentheses is the cheapest current price I was able to find for each card. I'll also give you my GPU recommendation from each category based on the best price to performance. Let's get into it. The mainstream category is for the 1080p gamer. You'll be using medium to high settings depending on your desired frame rate. If you want high FPS, you'll have to dial the settings back a little bit to achieve those high frame rates. But if you want high visual fidelity, you can crank the settings up to appreciate the game. This is a fairly slim category. On the NVIDIA side, you have the RTX 3050 and RTX 3060. You can see the 3060 Ti is sliding between both categories. That's because as it ages, I think the 8GB of VRAM will start to hinder its performance at higher resolutions. On the AMD side, you have the RX 6500 XT, which I don't recommend anyone buy, the RX 6600 non-XT, and RX 6600 or 6650 XT. If you really want to get a GPU in this category, the 3060 or the 6600 XT are your best choice. I know they're at the high end of that category, but the increase in price versus the increase in performance is not even comparable. I would just skip the 3050, the 6500 XT altogether, but if you want my recommended GPU, go with the RX 6650 XT. You can get this for $284 over on Newegg. This is the MSI Mech model. It's got a $15 off promo code and a $20 mail-in rebate, if you believe in that. This brings your total down to $249. We really haven't had a whole lot of options in the 1080p category because there's no new GPUs coming out. The companies have made a ton of what they've got, and I think they are just trying to sell off all of their stock before they bring out what's new. Because if you took notice, if you're keeping an eye on the GPU market, all the new high-end stuff comes out first and then they trickle down from there. So we should be seeing a replacement for the 3060 or 6600 XT in the coming months in 2023. Next up is the performance tier. This is 1080p ultra high refresh rate. I'm talking 240 Hz and above, or 1440p and high refresh rate for that as well. I know it may look like there's a lot of options in this category, but there's really not much here, at least not on the NVIDIA side. The RTX 3070 and 3070 Ti are your only offerings. NVIDIA's high-end 30 series GPUs have gone all but extinct on the new market. The ones that pop up on sites like Amazon and Newegg are from third-party retailers who are still trying to get top dollar for their GPUs. They're the ones selling for $800 or $900 for an RTX 3080. Don't make that mistake. AMD has lots more offerings in this category. You've got options like the RX 6700, 6700 XT, and 6750 XT. There's also the RX 6800 and 6800 XT. I'm grouping all these GPUs in this category because they can be had for a decent price for the performance they give you versus NVIDIA. My recommendation in the performance tier is the RX 6800 XT. You can pick these up for $579 over on Newegg. This is the ASRock Phantom gaming model. If you don't want the ASRock model, you can always go for the XFX Speedster MERC319. They come in at $599. I chose the 6800 XT mainly because at the $600 price point, it makes the most sense performance per dollar, and you get that sweet 16 gig VRAM buffer. Now, if you're at the entry-level price of the performance tier, picking up an RX 6700 XT can make a lot of sense as well. Over on Newegg, they have one for $359, which is the ASRock Challenger D. $360 is a pretty good deal for 1440p performance. Last up is the Enthusiast segment. This is for the 1440p ultra high refresh rate gamer or the 4K gamer. This one's really easy because last gen's top end offering is horrible value right now, considering new GPUs have just been released. The RTX 3090 and 3090 Ti are nowhere to be found, and the RX 6900 XT and 6950 XT are overpriced compared to recently released GPUs. On the Nvidia side, you have the RTX 4070 Ti, 4080, and 4090. And on the AMD side, you have the RX 7900 XT and 7900 XTX. Almost every single one of these cards are being sold at their MSRP. People simply aren't buying. They're happy with what they have, and they have no need to upgrade. If you are shopping in this category, I have two recommendations for you. I hate to say it, but the RTX 4070 Ti is the best value in this category. The cheapest one I was able to find was $814 over on Newegg, and it's the Zotac Gaming Trinity OC model. What the 4070 Ti gives you is superior ray tracing performance, DLSS 3.0 and frame generation, the entire suite of Nvidia software that comes with their RTX GPUs, and if prices drop about $100 or so, I might not feel so bad about recommending this card. Now, if you have unlimited money and you don't care, you just want the greatest performance, clearly the RTX 4090 is for you. I was able to find this card over on GameStop for the MSRP of $1,599. It's the MSI Gaming Trio model. That was the only MSRP 4090 I was able to find, and I've actually been looking around for them for a while, but you can pick up the 4080 and 4070 Ti for their MSRPs as well. But if you want the best, the 4090 is the way to go. Now, I haven't forgotten about Intel. They recently joined the GPU battle with a small entry into the mainstream category. The Intel Arc A750 and A770 GPUs released back in October of 2022. They kind of had a rocky and delayed start, what with the supply shortage and the poor driver support. But things are starting to look up for them. Intel had a press release a few weeks ago that brought incredible news. They pushed a driver update that improved performance across DX9 games on both cards, which was something lacking at launch versus competition like the RTX 3060 or RX 6600. The A750 also took a $40 price cut, which brings its MSRP down to $250. This makes it even more enticing. Intel is pouring a ton of R&D into their driver development to improve their GPU experience. And if they continue this while also outputting high-end GPUs, this may put some competition out there for Nvidia and AMD. I don't have an A770 or A750 to test, but I've consumed tons of content on them, and it appears they slot right in between the RTX 3060 and 3060 Ti, and the RX 6600 and 6650 XT. Not bad for less money than the RTX 3060, but the price drops on AMD keep my recommendation for the mainstream category. New GPU pricing still isn't great. In fact, with the way AMD and Nvidia have priced their GPUs, you'd think we're still in some kind of mining shortage. Hopefully, prices will improve and Intel's entry into the GPU market will cause some waves. Only time will tell. Like you saw, Newegg has the best deals, with a few scattered between Amazon and GameStop. I'll leave links below for all the cards that I talked about today. They're affiliate links, but it doesn't cost you anything and it keeps the lights on here, so I'd appreciate it if you used them. If you got value from this video, give it a like below, and don't forget to subscribe and come back for more PC-related content. And as I always say, I'm Danny with Danny's Tech Channel, and I'll see you in the next one.
This the anthem. If you rockin' with it, put your hands up. Yeah, this the anthem. If you get up and get it, put your hands up.